Hey guys, so today we have another video for VanguardoverDress. I know I just posted up one, early morning sirens. Okay, so back to it. So in the morning, they have their normal Tuesday stream, or the Wednesday stream for them. But anyway, they had their normal streams which had VanguardoverDress information, so let's get right into it. So the first thing they announced was the boss units for the start decks. For for Dark State, they have Diablo's Violence Bruce, who looks kind of like a Spike Brother unit. For Dragon Empire, Chakabarathi Dragon, Divine Dragon, Nirvana. For Keter Sanctuary, Apex Crater Bastion. For Stoichia, which I cannot pronounce still. Sylvan Horn Beast King, Magnolia. And for Brandgate, Aurora Battle Princess Seraph White. Okay. They also introduced use Ace unit, which has no name revealed, but they reveal what I think is it's gonna be the starter Trickstar. So that's something to look forward to. Next up, they did announce the 6th nation that Bermuda Triangle is going to occupy. It is Lyrical Monasterio, which is for some reason a flying whale, maybe to represent all those people whaling for Bermuda Triangle cards. Let's see. Next up, they also had some Q&A for the new rules for Vanguard. So for first up, they have questions and answers regarding the ride deck. First one is the ride deck also allowed in V Premium and Premium? The answer is no. It's only for the standard format, meaning it's only for the overdress cards, which kind of makes sense because if you do that in the other decks, then it gets kind of crazy. Well, let's see. Do we use separate sleeves for the main deck and ride deck, or do we use the same sleeves? Sleeves for the main deck and the ride deck must be different, which is pretty obvious because that's the same thing for gift markers, tokens, etc. I know that you can probably use the same sleeves for strides, but I guess they don't want to do that for this one. And then they also make a specific note: there is no issue even if the sleeves are different within the ride deck, which means you could use 4 different sleeves if you want to, which is pretty interesting because Bushiroad normally doesn't really get that specific. I know like during Stride era and V series era, there's a lot of questions of whether or not they can use different sleeves, and normally that they say no, you have to use the same sleeve, but this one you can use whatever you want. So that's good that they clarified it right off the bat. And then lastly for the first part, for the cards that are placed within the ride deck, what happens if they are placed in other areas? If you have to place it in the main deck, said card will be placed back to the ride deck instead. For other zones, the cards will be placed in the zone indicated. So that's a pretty interesting thing. So that means if you have cards that are like, let's say similar to Legion, then it could get a little bit wonky because you let's say you have all 4 cards in your drop zone or from your ride deck for some reason in your Legion, then you just basically shuffle no cards back, which is pretty good. But I'm pretty sure they just did it just so that because you have to use different sleeves, so you can't go back to the main deck and it can't just get removed from the game outright. So yeah, so that's for the first part. So for the second part, does the number of cards in your ride deck count towards the total in the main deck? Yes, it does. The total number of cards in the main deck and ride deck must be 50. That's actually pretty interesting, which means the main deck, even though after you take out everything, is 46 cards, which does give a significant higher chance in drawing into a trigger or triggering cards because you have 4 cards that are not triggers outside of the deck instead of just 1 card. Must the copies of the same card in the main deck and the ride deck be up to 4? Yes. So if you have 1 copy of, I'm going to use old units right now, let's say Blaster Blade in your ride deck, it does count towards 1 copy for both the main, which means a little early for me. So you have 1 copy of Blaster Blade in your right deck. You can only have 3 in your main deck, totaling 4 in total. And lastly, can I only put like grade 2 cards in the right deck? No. You can only have 1 grade 0, 1 grade 1, 1 grade 2, and 1 grade 3 unit in your right deck. Which means that this is specifically to make sure that you can ride to grade 3. You can play the grade 2 game if you want to. You can keep riding, like, let's say, for example, in one situation, it's better for you to have, like, Blaster Blade. And another situation, it's better for you to have the Blaster Dark, of course, from the Majesty Lord Blaster set. So you can't just put same grades in there just to adjust for the different situations that you might be in. This is purely for to make sure you can ride to the next grade. Another thing to note is that in the first part, this is only for standard format, so which means that if you're playing premium or V premium and you still want to use cards in your deck, you got to make sure you run multiple copies, because in the other 2 formats you cannot guarantee your ride for that card. So lastly, they also introduced the new rules for VanguardoverDress. For the first one, you had to use different sleeves for the main deck and the right deck, and as mentioned before, for the right deck, you can use different sleeves among the right deck. So if you have like 1 Blaster Blade sleeve and then you want to put like a Dragon Overlord sleeve, that's fine. So that's one thing. And the second rule, quick shields can no longer be used, which is unfortunate. I kind of like the quick shield mechanic. It gave me having a little extra card like a coin in Hearthstone. You played that before. And the player will going second will draw a card by the ability of the starting Vanguard. So that one's a little odd. It's not sure if the starting Vanguards are all going to be errata so that you don't get to draw if you're going first, or this is only going to be starting Vanguard for the overdress. Have the ability to, when you ride, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 1 or higher, draw a card, who knows, and everything else is vanilla. Kind of slows it down a little bit, but slowing down the game right now is pretty good right now. It's a little fast. Third, and this is the biggest one, imaginary gift cannot no longer be used. Grade 3 units will gain a new ability instead of the imaginary gift, which means that, as mentioned in our last video, there was a mysterious little icon under the twin drive for grade 3 units. And with that being said, knowing that they're no longer imaginary gift, it makes me very curious about what it's going to be. I hope we should announce that soon, because I'm really hyped for that. I did like the imaginary gift format a little bit. Some things could have changed and it would have been a little nice, but for the most part I did like the imaginary gift. And lastly, cards with these icons can be played in clan decks that correspond to their nation, which is very important. Which means that let's say you play V premium or premium and you play Dark State, then you can mix it up with any Dark Zone card like Spike Brothers, Gear Chronicles, Dark Irregulars. So I'm very interested in seeing how all these cards are interact with in the premium format, and I'm really looking forward to see more of these princess cards in my Nova Grappler deck in the premium. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our final thoughts. Okay guys, never mind, there's actually one more thing that they announced in the stream. So they revealed that the collaboration set that they announced last night is going to be Token Rambu returning back to Vanguard in overdress. Personally, I actually like Token Rambu. I played the game for a little bit. It was pretty grind heavy in my opinion, a little luck based too. And plus it was in Japanese, so I had no idea what I was doing, but overall that was pretty fun. So it came out in G era first, and then it kind of skipped the V series, which was kind of sad. But now it's coming back to Vanguard overdress. I'm looking forward to that set too. Hopefully it comes out in English, or if not, then I'll just settle with some Japanese singles, right? So overall with the stream, I think it was a good direction in Bushiroad's part. With Vanguard overdress, I still think that there's still a lot to be seen, as along with the new mechanics, how certain nations got to interact with each other, maybe how much diversity there is in terms of card arts and play styles, because I know a lot of people, let's say for example, who play Kagero might not be too happy that they just have to play with Dragon Empire, so maybe they'll have a deck that focuses on cards that look and play more like Kagero than Narukami as a whole, or Dragon Empire as a whole. I like that Bushiroad also answered a bunch of miscellaneous questions, like how to sleeve your ride deck, because during regional there's always a bunch of miscellaneous questions asking if certain sleeves are legal, if they're doing it right. So getting that out of the way does save a lot of time in terms of tournament. I'm also very happy that they're bringing back Token Rambu. I know a lot of people were disappointed that it was not in the V series, and that it's nice that it's back now for overdress, and I'm looking forward to play with that deck as well. And lastly, I do think it's really funny that Premier Triangle is basically its own nation, saying that yeah, we don't need anybody, we're just a bunch of idols, just singing around doing our own thing on our magical whale. But yeah, there's still a lot to see for Vanguard overdress. Bushiroad did announce that they're going to be revealing information slowly, little by little, within 9 weeks. I think this is just the end of week 1, so we have to look forward to 8 more weeks of content. With that being said, thank you guys very much for listening, and actually no, I'm gonna say one last thing. I know with these information news things, I've been going off on little tangents, but I think this one's important. For those of you who are on the fence about Vanguard overdress right now, with its low price point right now, I do believe it's worth at least trying. $4 for a start deck isn't that bad, considering that even though people are saying oh my god, what if we need 4 copies of the start deck to get all the boss cards and everything. Well, because you have a ride deck, you technically only need 1 to at least get enough of the boss unit, because you can put that into your ride deck. Other staples, don't know yet, but maybe 1 or 2 start decks. It's still just $8. And if you guys do like it, feel free to continue. If you guys don't like it after the start deck, then well, at least you tried. Hope you guys see you guys again soon. If you reconsider leaving the game, but I hope you guys do stay. But with that, thank you guys very much for listening, and if you guys like what you hear or see today, feel free to like and subscribe for more videos, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. With that being said, hope you guys have an amazing day, and yeah, see you guys next time. Bye bye.